So I want to really talk about, I'm going to dive now further into hard money versus weak money, because what is money? When you look at it from a first principle perspective, money is crystallized work and time, energy. That's all it is. If I, work an hour, I don't know, digging, etc., I can't trade my hour of digging quite easily. So I have to dig for an hour to get something, which is basically money is an NFT of work. For the crypto people here, money is an NFT for work. It's just a thing which represents time that you've spent. So, and this is really important when we think about weak money and this weak and hard money differential. So if we go back in the olden days, gold was typically the store of wealth, and the Knights Templar really basically changed the way that global money worked, because we had the British knights and whatnot, and French, traveling all around Europe, slaughtering people, going, believe in God, no, chop off. That's all we did, the Knights Templar. But they'd have these massive convoys, and they'd have to devote quite a lot of horses and mules to carrying their gold. It's quite inefficient. So what they did, they teamed up with a family of Jews and went, the Jews approached the Knights Templar and went, we've got a better solution for you. Here is the world's first bullion bank. And basically what they said is, hey, Knights Templar, we're going to have a network of these bullion banks all over the world. At that point in time, it's basically Middle East and Europe. So you can deposit your gold in London, go on your crusade, and we'll give you a chit, a promissory note, saying, hey, I've deposited a ton of gold here, and I can get a ton of gold at one of our other branches. It's basically the first bank. And so that's what they did. It basically made them more efficient killers, because they could have more horses to kill people with instead of carrying gold. And so this is why, moving forwards now, you need to think of money not in like old-fashioned ways, but as using information theory. And Elon Musk is probably the best first principles thinker on the planet right now. And don't forget, I think he knows more about money than probably anyone on the planet. He was the architect of PayPal. And when you look at the plan he came up with PayPal before he was basically kicked out, he basically said PayPal needs to be Bitcoin. If you look at what he told PayPal, he came up with something like a 15-year vision of what PayPal should do. It's basically Bitcoin. He got booted out. And this is Elon talking about
But I think the cryptocurrency thing is an interesting approach to reducing the error in the database that is called money. I think I have a pretty deep understanding of what money actually is on a practical day-to-day basis because of PayPal. We really got in deep there. And right now, the money system, actually, for practical purposes, is really a bunch of heterogeneous mainframes running old COBOL.
Okay, you mean literally? That's
literally.
That is literally what's happening.
In batch mode. Okay.
In batch mode.
Yeah. I pity the poor bastards who have to maintain that code. Okay, that's a pain. That's pain.
Not even Fortran. It's COBOL. Yep.
It's COBOL. And the banks are still buying mainframes in 2021 and running ancient COBOL code. The Federal Reserve is probably even older than what the banks have, and they have an old COBOL mainframe. And so now, so the government effectively has editing privileges on the money database, and they use those editing privileges to make more money whenever they want, and this increases the error in the database that is money. So I think money should really be viewed through the lens of information theory, and so it's kind of like an internet connection. Like, what's the bandwidth? Total bit rate. What is the latency, jitter, packet drop? Errors in the network communication. Just think of money like that, basically. I think that's probably the right way to think of it. And then say what system from an information theory standpoint, allows an economy to function the best. And, crypto is an attempt to reduce the error in money that is contributed by governments diluting the money supply as basically a pernicious form of taxation.
And I completely echo everything you said. It's spot on. And so when you think of things from an information theory standpoint, you need to eliminate friction. You don't want friction in anything. You don't want friction in your internet connection, and you don't want it in money. And at the moment, the reason central banks across the world are insisting on having these a wide mix of these mainframes is because it's the easiest way to maintain their editing privileges on the monetary database. It is literally, adding zeros onto a spreadsheet like that. And the only people that can maintain a mainframe are boomers. There are no millennials out there that know how to maintain a mainframe. It's incredible. And so remember, the reason why governments love having editing privileges on the monetary database is because of the Cantillon effect. Anyone? I'm going to talk about it anyway, regardless. So the Cantillon effect is basically, it's like a sweet shop for the government. So if I'm the Federal Reserve or the US government and I go, right, I'm going to just print $1 trillion, okay? Cool, I've got $1 trillion. That money has not hit the economy yet. So guess what? Prices of everything is exactly, flat. So I can now go and I can buy whatever I want at this big sweetie shop, which is the world, at current prices. But if I just blow, if I start injecting $1 trillion worth of buying and whatnot, what happens to prices? Yeah, price is like this massive sponge which absorbs any currency supply out there, and it grows. But there's a lag. That's why the average Joe doesn't understand it. The Cantillon effect has a lag of about 12 to 24 months. So take COVID and furloughs and lockdowns. As a globe, we printed $5 trillion out of our asses and went. And is it a surprise now that 3 years later or whatnot, we're having a cost of living crisis? It's just no one understands the connection. So back when we were doing all the furlough lockdown stuff, I was like, oh guys, give it 2 years, we're going to see a massive spike in prices on freaking everything. And guess what? Wood, we've been getting quotes to build a house at the moment, and it's just eye-watering. Just like the cost of wood. It's just, yeah. Oh yeah, you guys builders, yeah. It's nuts, isn't it? So, yeah. Anyway, so that's the Cantillon effect. A government can print money out of their ass, spend it on whatever price is right now, and know that prices will only go up 12 to 24 months later, depending on the concentration of the assets. If they just, print some money and just go all in on treasury bonds, like they're going to be doing, guess what? The price of treasury bonds is going to go up really freaking fast. And so the yield is then going to start crashing. Another reason why I'm so convinced that rates will drop. And then you have the trickle-down effect. Now, so most economists, when they talk about trickle-down effect, it's wrong. It's flat out wrong. The trickle-down effect happens when they start spaffing money into the economy. I keep saying that word. Keep injecting money into the economy, and then it percolates into other asset classes like stocks, bonds, property, crypto, and it just, for our benefit, crypto is so sensitive to it. It just picks up. So that's the Cantillon effect, and that's another reason why the rich-poor divide will only continue to do this. Red line is the masses. So I should have, oh God, I can't even read it. 50 to 90th percentile. So basically the average Joe. And this is the top 1%. It's incredible. This is going to continue trending upwards, and this is going to go downwards. Again, maths. So whenever your currency devalues, everything goes up in price, and the devaluation chart will look like Argentina. Weak money always loses, and we haven't learned from history.